There's a very funny saying in motorsports, rallying is for men and F1 is for boys. I had many accidents in motocross dirt track. This was just a small bruise, I would say. But that time I was more scared and I realized, oh, I cannot ride anymore. Yes, it is a dangerous sport, and but there are a lot of people in the world. They like to live life to the edge. That's how they feel they are alive, close to the danger. So maybe I'm also one of them. And then everybody realized, even I realized, speed and motorsports, I should have never left it. Never left it. It's not about going fast. You have to survive with the car, with the man and the machine. The car has to survive, you have to survive. In Malaysia Rally Championship, my co-driver told me, crest, don't jump. And I heard crest, jump. And I really jumped that crest. The car went so high that when I was in the air, I said, God, please save me this time. Next time I will not do it. My name is Sanjay Takale. I'm from Manjari village, outskirts of Pune. And I'm to motorsports for last 37 years. How I got to motorsports or how I knew motorsports was, those were the black and white days. I think it was 1980 or 81. We had a program on the TV called World of Sports. And I was in probably 6th or 7th standard, and it really fascinated me. I never knew where to start, but that was my first introduction, and that's how it came into my head, the speed and the passion. So whenever there used to be any work in the house, for example, getting the clothes iron or going to a flour mill, I was very happy to take the cycle and go to do all this, run the errands for the family. I used to ride the cycle fast. That really fascinated me. The wheel, the movement of the bike and all. I went to a military school, Shivaji Preparatory Military School. It was a boarding school, and we had a lot of sports in it. And I was always ahead in sports in every format, like football, cricket, hockey, basketball, you name it like. So sports was always also a part of my life. I was a good athlete in the school days. When I was in 10th standard, I really tricked my grandmother. I told her that if I get first class, would you buy me a racing bike? And she said, oh, first class, wow. First class was very big for her. So eventually I got a first class, and I was given a bike to go to the college. That was a very old bike I had, I still remember. We used to use that bike to serve milk in the village. And in the second part, I used to use the same bike to go to college and then modify it and then race into the Java class, into the motocrosses and dirt tracks. I started in 1987, I believe, in the June month. There was a racing club in Pune called Pune Automotive Racing Association at Nehru Stadium. And that is the first club I joined. The first motocross of my life. I still remember it was 10 June 1987. We went to Ahmedabad motocross. It was a 10-lap race, and I only managed 8 laps to do. Well, the people have already done 10 laps. I had 3-4 falls. I've hurted my nose, my hand and all. I didn't have a clue how to jump. So I was moved out of the stadium. Oh, isko bahar nikalo. Agla race chalu karna hai. And of course, at a young age, it was very difficult for me to digest it. And I said, well, it's your first race and you can always learn. I always think failures are good because they teach you a lot of things. My father and my grandmother was not happy to give me the piece of land which was next to my house. But I managed to convince them that I will work extra in the farm to make up for the loss of that piece of land. And of course, then I took the piece of land with the help of tractor and dozers. I built up 3-4 motocross jump, one hoop-to-do section and 2 corners. But that was good enough to have the characteristics of a motocross track. So it was a barter exchange in the family, and my family used to work me 3 times, say, a so-called rent of the land. And it was good to have a track next to your house. So every day I used to walk around the track. I used to think about it. It's not only practice with the bike, but even looking at the jump, the approach. I said the big halogen bulbs are around my track. So even at midnight, 12 o'clock or early morning, 4 o'clock, my practice time was not fixed. Anytime I would feel, I would just go and practice. And next day, of course, the villagers come to my father and complain, your son is making a lot of noise with the bike and the whole village is getting disturbed. My father had a tough time convincing me. But passion was like that. Whenever I felt, I went and practiced there. My bike was very weak. So there was a garage near Hadapsar by the late Mr. Rafiq Mama, and I asked him, can you please modify my bike? He was more than happy to do that. He was also a passionate person. All my 14 years, he never charged me a penny. So I have a free garage. Young age, nobody gave you money. So I have my different means of earning money. Of course, I used to work and I used to get some money out of my grandmother. I had one pipe from which I used to steal petrol from my father's car. Then even my brothers, I was able to fuel the bike. And for the garage repair, I had Traffic Mama. I learned a lot of things in 3 months. The next race was Kolhapur dirt track race, I still remember. Well, my reputation was not good and I was made to stand last on the grid, 8 laps. And to my surprise, I won that dirt track race. Of course, I've not told home, and my name came in the papers. So some of my neighbors came to my father and they told him. So my father's first reaction, he thought that I won a horse race. And when I came back home, I got a one tight slap from my father. He said, "You have spoiled the family name." I had a tough time explaining him. Eventually, I stood my ground. For some time, I was even a black sheep in the family. But then, well, that's how you live it like. So that was a big transformation from coming last and then coming first. And after that, I was given a membership, permanent membership to the club. There used to be a race in Pune called Siagarh Hill Climb, which was the most famous or the most prestigious in the local area. So that was one of my favorite races, and I won that in 1996. 1987 to 2001, yeah. So 14 years I did bike racing. And I won almost, I think, maybe 100 trophies or plus, I would say, definitely. After that, journey came to a halt. I was doing a Nasik rally. I was married. I had a small daughter, 9 months or 11 months old, my daughter. And my family had come to Nasik to see the race. It was a national championship bike rally. And normally we come downhill and then we brake and the bike just moves off the line and you can really slide the bike and turn. It went and just touched the wall a bit. And I just blinked for the fraction of a second. First picture of my daughter I saw after that small impact, standing on the corner and just say, "Papa." To be honest, I felt so cold. I was leading the rally and I still remember I finished that rally second or third. I lost time in the next two sections. And then I said, "Oh, they said no more racing for me." I had many accidents in motocross dirt track. This was just a small bruise, I would say. But that time I was more scared and I realized, oh, I cannot ride anymore. I was very eager to see the world. So I did backpacking and I went about more than 100 countries around the world. With normally $20 or $30 a day a budget. I saw the people, I saw different countries, different food, different culture, different sort of history, geography. And it helped me to understand myself in a better way. Where we stand and what is the purpose of life. You meet yourself. Backpacking is the idea you go alone. It's the best idea, I would say. Don't take your friends around with you. Life went on. Everything was fine. Business was doing good. Construction company was flourishing. I had done backpacking. I've seen the world. I have a great daughter, great wife. But as I turned 35, 36, slowly I started going into depression. Not feeling good, cannot sleep at night. But nothing worked on me, to be honest. Not the doctor, not the medicine, not the mantrik in the village. I had all the basics requirement, I would say, necessities, but I was not happy with it. Money was not my motivation at any point of time. Life has to have some passion, some aim, something good feel factor in you. And that was always speed. One day, one of my friend, Praful, he told me there's an autocross race at Siagarh for the cars. And his brother was supposed to participate. So he said, let's go ahead, cheer my brother. So the organizers allowed spot entries and they wanted to increase the number of participants in that event. So my friend Praful said, why don't you also participate? You have got the car, 1.5 kilometer, 2 kilometer track. I said, I never driven on the track, but I had motocross experience, of course. And to my surprise, I won that autocross in a Baleno, where I have never raced a car before. And after that, with that small trophy I got, I was so happy, I was so thrilled. And then everybody realized, even I realized, speed and motorsports, I should have never left it. Never left it. My eyes grew wider, my face started glowing. It brought a lot of smile on my face and my life has more meaning and purpose. So going to motorsports really changed everything in my life again. I decided to go back to motorsports at the age of 36 or 37 probably. But I have a lot of opposition from my family, my wife, my friends. He said, you are too old now, it's 37 years. You can't go to car racing at this point of time. Of course, there was no fear for me because I have done motocross, supercross. Comparatively, car is more easy for me, at least I would say, because you got 4 wheels, not much of balance needed. Of course, the car drifts and there's a lot of speed and more grip also coming. I got a car, I modified it. I started driving into TSD. Basically, it's managing time and speed and distance. Winning Himalayan Rally was a big achievement for me, I think, because the mountains have always fascinated me. One more rally I loved was the Desert Storm. I drove a Safari Dicor and we won in a Safari. And of course, later that car was also named as the Safari Storm. So I did that for 1 or 2 years. I won most of the rallies in India, like Desert Storm, Himalayan Rally, South India Rally, Monsoon Challenge, Nagaland Rally. So many rallies I won in TSD format. And then I shifted to speed, that is INRC, Indian National Rally Championship. I modified my Baleno with a roll cage, proper rally seat, with a FIS spec, with the help of my friends. I was introduced to Malaysian team. That's how I went to Malaysia. I drove into a small category called P9 front wheel drive car, and that's how my international journey took off. I finished second or third in the championship. The next year we managed to win the Malaysian championship. Then I did some rally schools, I did some training, I did some research. I learned pace note writing from my friends from a rally school also. 2012, I got an offer from the Asia Pacific Championship organizers. Can you come to one of the rallies to Whangarei? You can see it's a wild card entry, one of the rounds. And which I of course definitely accepted, because that was the first Asia Pacific Championship round which I did in New Zealand. And that was one big step from Asian level to Asia Pacific level. There was not much of the presence of the Indian motorsports in the Asia Pacific region. Of course, there were drivers who have attempted that. To be first Asia Pacific champion, same year along with Gaurav sir, he became the championship in four-wheel drive, and I became a champion in the Production Cup. So this was the first time when the Indians became the Asia Pacific champions in Rally of New Caledonia, where this was the first time in Indian motorsport history where two Indians were standing at number 1 and number 2 place. So then we were forced to reckon in the Asia and the Pacific continent. It's a big area. It's of course half part of the world, you can very safely say. Then I started driving the SUVs also. It's a different format. It's a cross-country rallying. Cross-country means you drive through jungles, mountains, deserts, you can say, where you have to drive a SUV. Literally there are no roads, so there are all broken roads. So I started driving in two different formats, and that's how I came into a limelight. Then I got an offer from Cusco Subaru team. I drove with them for 4 years. Out of 48 rallies, I think the number must have gone up, I think so. No, maybe 50 podiums, I would easily say. The first time Indian team went to the World Motorsports game in France, I finished 8th at the World Games. I did 2 WRC rallies, the World Rally Championship I did. And of course I did rally in Estonia, I did rally in Latvia, all the Asian Pacific countries I drove. That's how my car rallying career came into existence. I started enjoying speed. But the whole part was, my biggest mistake was I left my passion. So I came back to my passion, my life was on track, I felt good from inside. Now, where to go? There's a bright news from the last month, I would say. I've got a chance to drive into a Dakar rally, longest and the most difficult rally on the planet. Initially, it used to start from Paris and finish in a Dakar city in Senegal. Later shifted to Latin America because of the political unrest in the African countries. And now it's come back to Saudi Arabia now. First year I will be driving into historic class, then the T2 and the T1. You graduate yourself gradually up. Of course, there are a couple of boys they have driven in bikes, but for car, as far as I remember, no Indians have ever driven into car section. So I'll be the first Indian probably to drive a car into Dakar. There's a very funny saying in motorsports, rallying is for men and F1 is for boys. The reason is this one: you live on a natural terrain. There's no help. There's no one to see your bravery. There's no one to see what's happening around your car and yourself. Plus, you are driving in all sorts of different areas, like deserts, very dangerous, snow, gravel, so all sorts of different terrains. And every time it's a new terrain. So it's more of a human touch to it, more of a natural ability. If you have an accident in rally, help, you'll reach at least 15 minutes. But if you have an accident in F1, maybe 20 seconds. And the reason I chose this was because I thought you should be more in the nature. A four-wheel drive car on a flowing road is a more challenging because you carry too much speed and there's less grip. So it's more of a skill, and there's a lot of butterflies in the stomach. Yes, it is a dangerous sport, and but there are a lot of people in the world. They like to live life to the edge. That's how they feel they are alive. People do mountaineering, they go to the sea. People who like to do adventurous things, or they want to be near or maybe close to the danger. So maybe I'm also one of them. I get fascinated, I love the challenge, and of course I'm ready for the consequences also. You enjoy the situation and you enjoy the speed. If you enjoy, then the fear, you'll overcome the fear. And of course there's an impact, be brave, come back and do it again. You have to be smart, you have to be calculative, and you have to be scared from inside. Things you can do and things you cannot do. And when required, you have to push also. So basically, yes, I'm very scared from inside, definitely. It's not about going fast. You have to survive with the car, with the man and the machine. The car has to survive, you have to survive. Well, it's like a life only. You make less mistake and you are likely to finish the rally. A very scary moment, I would say. We were doing the Himalayan rally and one of the bridges were broken. And first bridge, and there was a new bridge which was built on the other side. My co-driver said, on the bridge you have to take a right. But he didn't mention that it's the second bridge. And I took a right on the bridge and then I suddenly saw it's broken. And I braked and there was a big gorge. Definitely we would have gone into the rally, but I managed to stop the vehicle and reverse. A lot of people think the drivers are the real heroes in the car, but that is definitely untrue. The most important person in the car is the co-driver. There's no way you're going to look and drive. So the co-driver will exactly tell you where to turn, what to turn, the angle of the turn, all the information in a very short language, which we call it pace notes. Normally the co-driver will tell you 2 or 3 corners ahead. So you are prepared for all the corners and all the turns. So I think the co-drivers are 60% and drivers are 40%. This is my own experience in Malaysia Rally Championship. My co-driver told me, crest, don't jump. And I heard crest, jump. And I really jumped that crest. The car went so high that when I was in the air, I said, God, please save me this time. Next time I will not do it. And I managed to come down and land on all the 4 wheels. A lot of time I'm scared. But it's good to be scared, you know. If you're too brave, you're going to make mistakes. If you're scared, you do things carefully. And then you can do it consistent and you can up your game. For any sport like cricket, hockey, you have to be there 110%. Cut off yourself from all the other activities of the world. Your surname, your country, religion, your parents, daughter, wife, everything. So you have to be in that zone of you with yourself for sort of enjoyment, your car, your speed, and you're trying to enjoy that. That's what I say, you have to be in the particular zone. Everybody's dream is to do F1 or WRC or Dakar. So I've done with WRC. I can't do F1 because I drive in a different format. F1 came to India, the boot circuit, and they had a lot of issues in getting customs or a lot of red tape. So the organizers were not very happy with the Indian part or Indian government approach, I would say. So you can safely say you're almost like a blacklisted from the F1. As a country, as a government or local authorities, we should welcome motorsports. They're bringing a lot of foreign currency, foreign revenue, a lot of excitement to the country. So I'm very happy to see a lot of young boys coming to speed for bikes and cars. It's natural inclination, I would say. But things have changed in India now. There are a Polo Cup for the youngsters. A lot of scout talent hunt is going around. The boys can enroll there. The sponsors are coming with their car and you can give a time trial. So you can join a local club there where they have their own carts or own system. So there's a lot of infrastructure available at this point of time. A lot of young boys are doing good in karting, F3, F2. A lot of parents also now have been interested to put their children into motorsports. A lot of inquiries I'm getting. Of course, I try to guide them whenever I can. Driving for the factory teams like Tata's, Mahindra, and of course you get a small stipend out of it. And the best part is you don't pay anything from your pocket. Well, what's better than this then in life? On the road? Oh, I'm a pussycat on the road, definitely. Normally, my wife drives the car. She says, oh, in Marathi, she says, oh, तुम्ही गाडी किती सावकाश चालवता, आपण कधी पोहोचणार तिकडं. I just request the youth of this country, don't drive fast on the roads. Be careful on the roads. Roads are not meant for racing. They're meant to be used by normal public. So whenever you want to drive aggressive, go on a track, rent a track, go to a school, go to a motorsports arena and drive fast to get your energy or your nervous energy out. You got all the safety features there. This is one message I would definitely like to give to the young. From cars, maybe another 2 or 3 years, I'll move to aircraft flying and of course then finally trying to make a flying car. I managed to buy 2 of my small charter planes, you can say. Small planes, I would say, 1 twin engine and 1 single engine. And we got a company registered in Dubai called Hamad Charters. There's another company, I'm working as a non-executive director called Airpace, future transportation system, the cars that can fly in drones. I would rather fail doing what I love to do. Unless you fail, you don't learn anything. So let's just keep the fingers crossed and let's go forward from here and let's see what is in store for me. You are watching this telecast on Yuga Studios and I request everybody to subscribe to this channel and share with your friends and families.